Hi, and welcome to PigTube. I'm Ariana, this is Chucky, and today's video is just a quick video I kind of threw together to give some suggestions for anyone who might be having a little bit of a challenge bonding with their new baby pig. Pigs are prey, which basically means that they are not going to warm up as quick as a puppy. They're a little bit more cautious and fearful and definitely skittish. So if your pig is afraid of you when you first bring it home, don't feel too bad. It can take a couple days and sometimes even up to 1 to 2 weeks for your pig to really bond with you. But these are the tips I'm going to give you to kind of speed that up and get you to a point where your pig loves you instead of being afraid of you. It appears that Chucky is not going to be sleeping in this video and is just going to root on the blanket, which is okay, I guess. There are 5 tips that I'm going to give you today on how to get your pig to bond with you, and I highly recommend having other people do these tips as well, so that way they're well socialized with everybody and maybe even outside of your family. The first tip that I want to give you with bonding with a new baby pig is to bond with them in small confined spaces. They don't need to be in there all day, but I do recommend getting something like a playpen that you can either get in there with them, but something small enough that they can't escape or avoid you. And when you're in this playpen, one of the big things I really recommend is getting on their level. So sit down with them. If you're like me, you'll even lay down with them, especially if it's in the house. And by getting on their level, it's a little less threatening and intimidating. And even if you're sitting and laying down in there, you may not actually be engaging. You might just be sitting in there and letting the pig kind of come up to you, check you out, let them get warmed up to you, and then you're going to gradually start reaching over to pet them. When you go to pet your baby pig, I don't recommend doing anything that's in their face or over their head. You typically want to start with very slow, gentle movements, and you're probably going to start just by kind of scratching them on their side, maybe getting their little booty or their back. But you really, if you ever go to pet this way, a lot of times they go backwards. So I always recommend slow movements, nice and gentle, and just kind of start by scratching them on their body. The second tip that I have for you today when it comes to bonding is going to be limiting the treats that you give them. I know that's a little bit surprising to some people, especially with like a fearful dog or puppy. You may use treats to create trust, but it's just so different with pigs. Pigs are food crazy, and if you're the person that's constantly popping them treats every time they see you, not only are you ruining the bond because now you're not really a friend, you're just a food dispenser, and that can ruin the bond, and it can create a pig that is really demanding and bossy and almost a bully that now when they see you, they expect food or they expect treats. So I only really recommend treats in limited settings or in a way that's not used strictly to bond. You really want to build a bond without the use of treats. The third tip that I have to help bond will be all about cuddling your pig. I know it's silly that I even have to say that because everybody wants to cuddle their baby pig, but you may have to build trust before you can even get to that point. So when it comes to cuddling, what I would recommend is making sure that they're nice and tired. Don't do this when they're in the middle of being very active and energetic because now they're just going to fight you. Instead, you're going to wait until they're tired, which could be after a meal, or it could be maybe they've been really active for a while and now they're tired. It could be late at night or early in the morning, but what you're basically going to do is just get nice and cozy, grab some blankets, maybe some pillows or something that's just comfortable, warm, and cozy, and I would just kind of cuddle up with them. And if they're tired, even on a chair like this, if they're tired and you're laying with them or watching a movie, they will certainly fall asleep in your lap. And I think the only way to do that without a fight is when they're tired. It almost reminds me of little kids, that they can be, if they don't want to be cuddly right now, then they are not going to be cuddly right now. And I also will say, like with Chucky, if he's been moseying around my yard or in my basement or whatever, playing around the house, typically I know after a while that he is more tired than he thinks he is. So if it's been 20 or 30 minutes, and Chucky's maybe 6 months old, so 20 to 30 minutes of him being active is pretty tiring to him, then maybe I'll go and I'll pick him up and go cuddle with him on the chair. And I will say within a matter of 30 seconds, he's probably sleeping. The fourth tip I have for you is going to be grooming them. The fourth tip and the fifth tip I do think are probably a little bit more training based, because they are going to fight you when you groom them in the beginning, but they have to get groomed. They're going to have to be brushed. They're going to have the coconut oil. You are probably going to be messing with their hooves, and if you have an indoor pig, you're probably using baby wipes frequently to clean mud and dirt off of them, which it looks like Chucky is doing on my blanket and my leggings. But having said all that, you're going to want to use grooming as a way to almost train them, but also bond with them. So what I always recommend is when they're tired, or just like I said, maybe they've been playing outside for a long time, I would go and put them in a chair or in your playpen in a confined space, and I would try to make the grooming as soothing, relaxing, and spa-like as you can. So I'm usually starting with a method that they call forking. And forking is basically grabbing like a dedicated pig fork, like a real fork that you eat with. And what you do is you poke them with the fork up and down their back. You can scratch their head with it. You can scratch their side with it really gently. And it's really kind of like a massage for them. And a lot of vets actually do that to almost put them in like a sedated state before they do anything. And forking them before you do any of the grooming will give them a little bit more of a relaxed feeling. So I would do the forking, and then I would move over to the coconut oil, and I'm making it as peaceful as possible, and then the brushing and the baby wipes and all that stuff. Of course, they might fight you a little bit with the grooming, but I want that to be something they enjoy for the rest of their life. I don't want them to fight you forever. My final suggestion for the day on helping bond with your baby is going to be training them to be held. So if you don't know this already, baby pigs actually scream really, really loud when you pick them up. And I don't even know that screaming really, really loud will capture how loud it actually is. So what you don't want to do is run away from that scream. You have to kind of embrace it and teach them how to be held. If you were to go to my YouTube channel and you were to hit the section shorts, I actually have a part 1 and a part 2 on how to hold your mini pig. And it does walk you through what it sounds like. It walks you through how to hold them, what to expect, and basically how fast you get to a point that you can hold your pig without them freaking out. And I will say, just some basics, but those shorts are better. But some basics is that you're holding them firm without any of their legs hanging out. You're kind of gentle with your hands, but holding them snug. And it's one of the things that you have to do on a daily basis frequently throughout the day in order for them to get good at it. And I know eventually they're going to be big and you're not going to be holding them all the time, but I do think once you get past the fight of holding them, it really becomes therapeutic. I hold Chucky a million times a day. I am constantly picking him up to go bring him potty. I'm picking him up to bring him in. I'm picking him up to put him in the bath, even at the vet. And now I feel like I've picked him up so much in the first 4 months of owning him that now even when I have company and they pick him up, his instinct is just to fall asleep. So I know there is certainly a fight involved and it takes lots of training and you may wear headphones when you're doing it, but I do think it ends up being a very therapeutic way to bond with your pig, being able to hold them. So like I said, really quick video today, but I really wanted to give you 5 of my best suggestions to bond with your pig, and I would just hang in there. Don't be insulted. Don't take it personally if they're afraid of you. I would just take the time to lay with them and just scroll through your phone or read a book, watch a movie, but just take the time to just relax and let them warm up to you. And if they're not coming to you, then just ease your way into them and be really gentle and calm, and they will warm up to you. Believe it or not, once they bond with you, they are going to be everywhere you are, and they're going to make different noises. I guess they're going to eat your braid. But I highly recommend following this advice, and if there's anything that you're having trouble with, please put it in the comments, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much. Bye.